Welcome to our explainer on Munshi Premchand's classic story, The Orphan Girl. Now, this is a tale that starts with just a single, simple act of kindness. But as we're about to see, it's also a really powerful look at fate and how one person's generosity can literally rewrite someone else's entire destiny. It all kicks off with this one, totally heartbreaking plea. It comes from a little girl named Rohini, and she's saying it to a kind stranger she has just met. You know, these simple words, they set in motion a chain of events that is going to change absolutely everything. So let's dive right in with the chance encounter that started it all. Okay, so on one side of this, you've got Seth Purushottamdas. He's a compassionate and pretty wealthy businessman who's just leaving a school in Pune. And on the other side, a young, fatherless student named Rohini. And in this moment of just pure childish impulse, she runs right up to him, grabs his clothes, and just refuses to let go. So the Seth, he gently asks her, what is it that you want? And her answer, it isn't for a toy, it's not for candy, it's for something way more profound. She looks him right in the eye and says, I will be your daughter. All she wants is a father. And this moment, wow, it really tells you everything you need to know about the Seth's character. As soon as he learns her father has passed away and her mom is a struggling widow, his eyes just fill with tears. It's this completely spontaneous act of empathy. He just embraces her and makes a promise that is going to change both of their lives forever. And the impact is, well, it's immediate and it's magical. For the very first time in her life, Rohini gets to ride in a motor car. She's taken on a huge shopping spree for toys and clothes. Her face is described as shining like the moonlit night as she looks back at her friends, feeling for the first time not just a bit of luxury, but a real sense of belonging and pride. And this contrast you see here is pretty striking. At Rohini's home, her mother, Rukmini, is just completely overwhelmed with shame, embarrassed that she has nothing to offer such a wealthy guest. But the Seth, he sees right past the poverty. He doesn't care about hospitality. He's there to ease her burden, promising to provide for Rohini and leaving a purse of money that frees her from that constant daily struggle for survival. Okay, so let's see how this one act of compassion doesn't just blossom over the years, but actually becomes an investment in a future that really no one could have predicted. You have to remember, before the Seth stepped in, Rohini was basically defined by everything she didn't have. She was that quiet observer, the one who looked on with helpless eyes, while other kids talked about the gifts they got from their fathers. But with this Seth's constant support, this amazing transformation begins, all powered by stability and education. He sends money and gifts all the time, which lets Rohini just focus on her studies. And in this really wonderful little twist, her mother is so relieved from financial stress that she even joins Rohini in school. Though, funnily enough, Rohini always gets better marks. Over the years, she doesn't just grow up, she absolutely blossoms. So yeah, she's not that helpless child anymore. Not even close. She's now the pride of her school, this accomplished young woman that everyone admires for her character, her intellect, and her achievements. This is the ultimate payoff of the Seth's investment. Education has turned her from an object of pity into a subject of admiration. Meanwhile, there's another life, seemingly running parallel but totally fated to intersect with hers. Seth Purushottamdas' own son, Narottam, is returning to India. And he's a hero in his own right, a brilliant engineer with top honors from universities in America and Germany. His success was even talked about in American newspapers. So naturally, a huge public event is planned in Bombay to celebrate his return. And it's at this grand celebration where these two worlds, which were set on a collision course years ago by that single act of kindness, are finally about to meet. So, during the ceremony, we get to this really crucial moment. A respected guest has to be chosen to place the honorary garland on Narottam. The president of the event scans the crowd, looking for just the right person. And his eyes land on, you guessed it, Rohini. She's there as a special guest of the Seth's family. Her heart just starts pounding as she nervously steps forward, garland in her trembling hands. In this moment, the orphan girl, elevated by education and grace, is chosen for a place of honor among the city's absolute elite. And as she places the garland around his neck, for just an instant, their eyes lock. This is it. This is the spark. It's the moment that marks the true beginning of their connection. About a month later, Rohini's mother gets this letter. It's a heartfelt proposal. And what's so amazing is that it's from Narottam mother with the full blessing of Seth Purushottamdas himself. He has totally approved of this match. Reading the letter, it all starts to click for Rohini. See, after the ceremony, Narottam had actually escorted her on the train journey back home to Pune. And the memory of their long, engaging conversations comes flooding back. And she realizes just how deep of a connection they'd already made. And this brings us to the story's absolutely beautiful conclusion, where the Seth's promise comes full circle in the most wonderful and unexpected way you can imagine. So the wedding day finally arrives, and the location could not be more significant. It's being held at the very same school, the Saraswati Pathshala, where Rohini first met the Seth all those years ago. But as the groom arrives, there is one final wonderful surprise waiting for all the guests. The groom, it's Narottam, the Seth's own son. The guests are completely stunned, and the whole place just fills with tears of happiness. This wasn't just a wedding, it was the final step in a master plan that was rooted in pure compassion. In this single moment, everyone finally understands the true depth of the Seth's quiet, masterful plan of love. Rohini's mother, just overwhelmed with emotion, falls at his feet in gratitude as tears of pure joy stream down Rohini's face. Later on, after the ceremony, Rohini goes up to the Seth, and his words to her, they aren't about her becoming a daughter-in-law. They bring everything right back to the very beginning. He just says, "Why? Now you have become my own daughter, haven't you?" His words perfectly fulfill that simple promise he made to a little girl all those years ago. It really makes you think, right? Was this just fate, or was it a destiny that was carefully crafted through generosity, education, and love? And how often can one person's vision completely, and I mean completely, reshape another's world?